I'm glad that we've finally had this sit down about mental health. I think it's needed, man. No one talks about it enough.
When depression really hit me, it hit me for about 2 years.
I feel like it's hard to have that initial conversation.
These people have lived with that, with neurodiversity for 20, 30, 40 years.
You may have had a thought like, I wonder if life would probably be better if I wasn't here. You know what I mean? Like,
people are not willing to come forward and say, listen, I'm suffering with mental health.
Weed definitely has a massive impact on people's mental health, but you see what the problem is when people smoke weed, they won't take accountability for it.
People have said for many years, it's a coward's way out and this, that, and the other. I don't believe that.
I do, you know.
So guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. And we have, on today's show, we're doing it a little bit different because we've already had this person on. So we actually had a conversation between us and we decided we wanted to do something on mental health. So I'm introducing you all back to
Mr. Sanka. Nice to see you again, Carl.
How are you?
It's always,
It's
always a pleasure, man.
Never a chore.
Never a chore, never a chore. You like, it rings me all the time, though. It does me nothing.
You're over here, you pal.
I wish I never met him. Rings me all bloody time. 8 o'clock in the morning.
You know what?
I can't even go to the gym and he's ringing me.
You know what I've noticed though, yeah? Funny you saying that now, because now, like today you messaged me, it's like morning, sir. I thought, he's taking the mickey now.
I'm not, don't take it wrong way, Cal. I don't want no trouble, mate. But no, I think you're rubbing off on me with that because it's nice to greet people and be gentleman-like.
Do you know what it is? It's nice to be nice. And again, I don't know if I said it last time, it's one of them things where I'm doing this thing now where if I think of you, then I'll ring you.
Yeah, I need to start doing that more.
Do you know what I mean? So then it I'm not saying it's the best thing, I'm not saying you have time to do it, but just something that I've started.
Nah, I'm gonna make a conscious effort to do that because I feel personally I don't make enough time for real people. And I've got good people in and amongst my circle.
Yeah, because you gotta think, the worst bit about it, for me anyway, is the amount of times that you go, oh, I wonder what my man's up to. But then you don't ring them.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then how would you know what they're up to if you ring them?
Do you know what? You said I think you might have said this off camera last time. And my brethren come to mind. And when you've said that again, I've just dawned on me that even since then I haven't rang him. So when I go home, I'm going to ring him. Yeah. Professor, I'm ringing you.
And do you know what it is as well? It's, again, because we're talking about mental health, sometimes it can just take that one phone call. It takes that one phone call where someone goes, man, I was thinking about you today, you all right? And it might just be, the amount of people I've spoken to where, not that they've cracked or they've broke down, but it's like an open, like a gateway for them to go, well, actually, no, I'm not.
Yeah. And the thing is, that call is a brilliant thing as well, because I think of it like this. As a man, I feel like it's hard to have that initial conversation. Like no man wants to go up to the brethren and be like, oh, boy, I'm going through it, man. If I'm honest, some of my white friends are more prone to wearing the heart on the sleeve in that sense. I notice it more with my black friends that the war, and I've been in a point where I was depressed. Like if I got smoke weed hard, I feel down. I go through spells where I'm down. I don't really want to talk to people. I go through a down spell.
Because funny enough, you said it to me
the other day, and I was running weed.
Yeah, you said it to me the other day. And I think you just messaging us like, listen, Carl, really sorry, I've not been in contact. I've just been a little bit down.
Yeah. Man.
But again, when you look at them things, and that's because at them times I've been thinking about it and I've rung you.
Yeah,
you've not answered.
Yeah.
But you've been in my head,
why.
so I've rang. And you know what it is again? So I'm a person. I'll openly admit about depression. So for me, like when depression really hit me, it hit me for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Where, bro, I didn't move off a sofa.
Fuck you, man. For 2 years.
I didn't move off a sofa for 2 years.
Wow.
You do the things that you're meant to do.
You do the necessities.
But like where I'm talking, where Like getting a wash is not even existent.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If someone like, man, didn't get a wash. I'm not saying full 2 years I didn't get a wash.
Yeah,
you know
but you just lose
saying,
yourself, don't you?
Yeah, because it's the last thing on your mind.
Yeah.
And not that you go, yeah, I'll do that, and you just never get around to do it because something. And again, for me, I'm always within my thoughts.
Yeah.
So because I'm always within my thoughts, it's hard for me to get myself out of things. And whether that's what I was like in the past, and that's probably why I was how I was in a past life, because once I have something in my head,
can't get it out.
I can't get it out. It's the same way where, like, you know, not glorifying anything, but if someone was saying, come and meet me, they could be with 20 people. Like, if once I've got it in my head, I'm going to come and meet you. I know what's going to happen to me.
But you can't.
But I can't.
I know what you mean.
I can't see logic within my brain.
Sometimes, yeah.
You know what I mean?
In certain circumstances.
Yeah. And do you know what it is as well? One thing I'll say is because I was brought up, I'm an only child.
Yeah.
I mean, my mum had kids now later, but like 21 years later, she started having kids. She had another 3 kids. My sister and my 2 brothers. On my dad's side, my dad had a few kids. It was all my age, but not in my household.
Okay.
So I was an only child, and my mum was constantly working. So when my mum was constantly working, for a little bit of a period, we had my nana and my granddad. But then that once we moved, then it was just me and my mum.
Okay.
So when you're trying to explain it to people, I don't think people get how you get it. So for me, all my life, I didn't have a big brother because I am the oldest of all my siblings.
Okay.
My mum was always at work. So for me, I never had somebody where I could have a conversation with them when something was going on for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I always did in my own mind. So I did all the calculations and I worked everything out in my own mind. What I will say is now that I'm older, I know for me that was detrimental because that stopped me from, then you get in the stage where you go, oh, well, okay, I'll just do it anyway, because you can't come up with the solution because you have nobody to speak to.
Yeah,
and again, from my generation, you couldn't go to speak to somebody because then you'd be looked at as if you're soft.
Yes. And
you know what I mean?
I find the same. It's funny you say that as well, because I've got a brother. We've got the same mum, but my dad only had me. So I'm an only kid. And when you're saying about not having no one to reason to, I never really, because when it got to a certain age, like I mentioned on the other pod, on my mum having a breakdown, there was an incident that happened, and then my brother got shipped out to my grandparents. So he lived with my grandparents, and I lived with my mum and dad. Obviously, what I've explained about my dad being a drink and mum having a breakdown. So when I'm going through all that, I never had no one to talk to. And I'm not going to go on road and say it to my friends, or go to school and say it to people at school. So I feel like that's probably why I was a bit aggressive as a kid, and I had a bit of a hot head because I didn't have an outlet.
Yeah. Because you know what it is because you don't have that person who's going to come up to you and go, whoa, listen. Whoa, no. Or somebody you can go to, like, you know, my dad in my life, do you know what I mean? And he wasn't there.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. Like, we're being honest, we weren't there.
Yeah.
But, you know, I just think sometimes in life, there has to be a time, or everybody has that breaking point, don't they? And I think the issue that we have, especially people of colour, there's a stigma around the breaking point.
Yeah.
And I truly believe this now. That's why you are witnessing more and more people of colour suffering with mental health. Because they've suppressed it for so long that it's built up. And it's funny, I had somebody else on the podcast on I think Monday or Tuesday. It comes out on Sunday, by the way.
I think it was Tuesday because I spoke to him.
Yeah. And I was trying to explain it to him. And do you know what it is? You build a mechanism within your mind where you go, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me. However, I can't afford to think and dwell on that. So I have to get rid of it. And what you do is your brain finds a way of how you dismiss that, and you park it up, you put it to the back of your brain. And every so often it raises its head and you go, no.
Yeah.
I can't deal with you because it'll. So you're constant, but what you're doing is you're building more and more
pressure.
and more, and you're building more pressure till eventually it goes. And that's how you're seeing people now, because of the generation, especially my generation, and probably the generation above me as well.
I've
your
seen it
uncle's
with a
age.
few.
Is that
Yeah,
like
yeah.
them?
I've got two uncles that
Yeah,
are
yeah.
having breakdowns now
Yeah,
that I'd never thought of.
like that generation there as well. You can see it, whether you're talking drugs or you're putting drugs in the mix or whatever it might be, because there's different elements of
Yeah,
it.
of course.
But I just think there's a generation of people now, especially with all this neurodiversity, because it wasn't identified then.
Yeah,
So these
yeah.
people have lived with that, with neurodiversity for 20, 30, 40 years
And not known.
and not known, but suppressed it
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and got through life pretending it didn't exist. When really now they're at an age and now all of a sudden, boom, it's blowing their minds because they're like, I've been ill for 20, 30 years.
I'm not known.
And not known.
Yeah,
And thought, this is just, It's crazy.
It is, man. And I'm glad that we've finally had this sit down about mental health. I think it's needed, man. No one talks about it enough until someone commits suicide because of mental health. Or I seen someone post something on Facebook the other day, like, is it just me or is there a rise in mental health? And I'm seeing loads of people's family members that have got mental health and I can't see anyone doing anything about it. And I had to comment on it because I understood what it meant, but what I said was incorrect, because when someone's got mental health, you can't just ring the doctors and get them sectioned.
No.
Because they have rights. So they have to admit themselves, or a doctor has to deem them
well, there have to be a
danger to themselves or society.
Yeah, they have to be a danger to themselves or somebody else.
So then what does that mean? You've got to go batter someone, or you've got to go and pag your mum, or slice someone, or do something. Because when people have mental health, I've got a cousin that's having a breakdown now, and you can actually see him like two people when you talk to him sometimes. You can see him like getting like angry and aggressive, and then he'll calm himself. It's like he seems like he can snap in and out of it. And it's a dangerous thing, because what if one day he doesn't snap out of it and he just loses it?
And you know the thing about it is, especially when there's certain people out there that have lived a certain lifestyle where at that time, within that period of time, you've been a certain way and you've been a certain way towards people, or you've done certain things to people. At some stage, it's gonna come to you.
Of course,
it's gonna come back to you, where because there's a moral standard, and there's a part of you where you go, that was wrong. And sometimes you don't manage to have the opportunity to go to somebody and say, do you know what it is? Listen, sorry.
Yeah, trust me. And some people are almost afraid to say sorry.
Yeah,
it's like you said the other day. I messaged you and said sorry for not being in contact. I don't have an issue apologizing if I feel like, because I feel like we've got quite a good relationship. So for you to reach out to me and then for me to air you, I felt rude, a bit disrespectful. So that's why.
But I'm going to give you an example here about this word sorry. And I don't know if it happens in all households, but I know obviously people know my mum's black.
Yeah.
And that's why. So I was brought up in a black household.
Yeah.
And I know you'll know what I'm saying. So remember the times when you do something wrong? I'm going to say allegedly, just for the sake. So you know when you do something wrong and you get caught and you go, sorry, because you know the belt's coming out or the piece of stick's coming out.
That's not a real sorry though.
Right. And you go, sorry. And they go, what are you sorry for? Or what are you crying for? Do you want me to give you something to cry for? Or has a stick broke off in her ears?
Yeah.
No, true. No. But you see what it is? The problem is because then you're identifying sorry. Because you're not actually sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry actually becomes, it's like the song, sorry seems to be the hardest word or something like that with the song.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Sorry becomes a thing where you should only say it when you actually do genuinely mean it. I think people do use sorry quite willy-nilly.
Yeah,
but I think a lot of people don't use it at all. And I also think that because of the generation not being able to handle mental health and the way they've suppressed it for so many years, they could have treated their children a lot better. And I include myself in that.
Yeah.
So if anybody goes, I include myself in that, because of suffering from mental health and suppressing all these feelings that I have. I've not been able to be the best person that I could have been.
I agree with that myself.
And also, I think what you also have is there's certain standards of people now. I'm not going to say who, and I won't go into details, but they still keep up that same facade now from 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And therefore, they're never going to get better.
Never.
Because they have to keep.
Because they're lying to themselves.
Yeah.
So you're never going to be right, because you can't improve if you don't identify the problem. Like my my thing right now is accountability and action. So take accountability for it and act. Do something about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no point in like for my last podcast, people are like, oh, I big you up, man. You're a good storyteller and you wore your heart on your sleeve. I won't have the confidence to do that. And it's like, the thing is, me not like
Just telling the truth.
I'm not lying, bro. Like there is points where I feel like I could be a better parent. There's times where I've been shit or I've been bitter towards my baby mum because me and her are getting on. So I'm like, oh, F her then. But I'd always see my kids, but then I'd just be bitter and do silly little things. And you know, no one's perfect. You live and you learn. What I always say, and not to drift off of the topic of mental health, but what I always say is, you've got to take accountability for everything you do in life, bro. You cannot just live in a bubble, because I think that adds to mental health. Because the people who I know that are suffering with the mental health right now don't take accountability. It's always somebody else.
But I'll throw something in the mix then. Is it easy to take accountability when you're suffering with mental health, though? Do you even know what accountability is?
So it's difficult to say because
again, I'll speak on myself. I know there's been times where I found it very hard to take accountability, because what I can do is I can find it easier to justify it.
Yeah,
I find it easy to be able to justify what I'm saying more than take accountability for it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not easy.
Do you know what I mean? And that's me as an individual. Do you know what I mean?
No, I think we've all. Personally, I've done that as well. I don't think it's easy.
There's loads of people that have done it. The only difference is you've got me and you sat on camera that are going, yeah.
Saying it with our chest?
Yeah.
Saying it with our chest. But I think that's what you've got to do in life. I think that's what's kept me sane.
Do you know, I think for me as well, because again, when we spoke about it, and I know this was your idea of speaking on mental health, and then I thought to myself, well, do you know what it is? We've got a platform. We've both got a platform. Again, there's people that will see me. There's people that will see you. And then hopefully there's people that are going to see me actually speaking and going, do you know what? Fucking hell.
Exactly.
If my man can say that. Because trust me, there's a lot of people out there struggling. And I'm talking my generation of being who have been a certain stature in life or within their area. And you're suffering with mental health.
Of course, because you've got to think as well. Like when I thought about it, I was thinking about it today and I was thinking, the life that you lived and the people in and amongst that life, there's going to be guaranteed people, because certain actions you're making are going to sit with you.
Yeah.
You're not an animal.
And you have to understand there was a stigma around disability. Because for me, to speak about, because mental health is a disability.
Yeah.
But for me, when you spoke about disability when I was younger, like a disability was if you walked funny or you was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, same. If you had mental health, you've gone mad.
You've gone mad.
To the madhouse.
Yeah, that's it. That was it. That wasn't a disability.
Right.
But again, when you're talking neurodiversity, HDD, ADHD, dyslexia, they're all a disability. It's neurodiverse. So I just believe that people are not willing to come forward and say, listen, I'm suffering with mental health.
Yes, that's what it was like for me when I was a kid for school. Because of how things was at home. Going to school, I just forget all about it. It's only on that bus ride home that reality kicks back in again. It's like, right, shit, it's back to the...
I mean, if I look back now and I go back through my past traumas, I've been suffering with trauma from being 14, 15. About 14, 15. But constantly suppressing. But then, and do you know, like, for me as well is not telling nobody.
Yeah, that's what it was for me.
Yeah, so I don't tell no one. These are all mine. And again, I will go this far as well, is it's scary to think if I opened my mouth and said everything, I'm scared where I might end up.
It's true. Because it is like you say, some of the choices that you've probably made in your life, you can't really discuss again. Some of the actions you've taken, you can't even, it's something you're going to have to bury. So then if you was a person that was suppressing other things, you're just going to add to that. That's just going to build up more. So it is good that you're in a place where you can express yourself and you can vent and let these things off your chest, because...
Yeah, but I think for me, it's only at a certain level. I mean, there's only a certain level that I have vented.
Yeah. Obviously,
Do you know
you
what I
can't
mean?
let everything.
Yeah, but
everything
like,
out.
I just think, for me, I just think a lot of people probably do the same thing as what I do, suppressing these things. And you know what it is? Your mind has a way of how it tricks you into not even speaking of those things, not even thinking of them. But then all of a sudden, every so often, they just pop up and you go, oh no, can't do that. We can't, we can't go there because of the fear of what it could possibly do to you.
So with saying that, what do you think is the reason? What do you think's kept you sane then? Because obviously you've been through a lot, you've experienced a lot, and you've even openly said that you suppress a lot.
Yeah.
And you've only let out a small bit. So if that's the case, obviously that's always building up. What's your not trick, but what works for you?
Do you know what? It's funny. Well, the person that watches it will know the conversation that I've had with them. And I just fill my mind with everything. So everything is work. So I usually have like 10, 15 things on the go.
Keeping yourself busy.
Yeah, so I keep myself busy. Even to and I know that I'm going to have to see somebody professionally. But for me, it's more of a situation where even on a night, I can't have silence. You know, as most people go, oh, no, I'll have silence to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I can't have silence.
Yeah, because then you're going to be in your own thoughts.
Then I start thinking. So what I have to do is, usually I'll lay my phone to the side. I might put an earphone in, and then I'll watch YouTube. So I'll watch a podcast or I'll watch something but it's people speaking. It's not action. Can't watch a boxing fight or something or UFC. I can't watch nothing like that. Okay. It has to be where people are talking. So most time it might be a boxing show where people are talking. So anybody talking, I'm okay. Like for years, it would be the telly.
Yeah.
But then I stopped that, and then now it's where I listen to podcasts and I'll just listen to things. So my mind, because if I lay and close my eyes, like my mind will just wander. And for many years, for me, I always got woke up, which a lot of people won't know this, but for years I always got. The only way I would wake up was with a bang.
What do you mean? Like you'd hear a bang?
Yeah. So I would hear a bang and I would wake up. That's how I woke up.
For like every night?
Every night for about 3 years.
That's mad.
Yeah. So it would be. I can't say what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a gunshot or whatever it was,
firework or
whatever. But it was always bang. So it'd be a loud bang, bang, and I'd wake up. And then me as a person, once I'm awake, I'm awake. So if I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm awake.
Yeah, that's me. You know, I can't get back to sleep.
And then I'll just work, and then now. So again, look, we're in the office. I've got my monitor on. I've got my laptop on. I'll have so many different things, and then I'll have like things that are open. Like most people say, close down things. On the top of my thing now, if I went to it, I'd probably got 25 things open.
Okay.
So I'm constantly.
Your mind's always on something else other than that.
Yeah, my mind's always ticking.
Yeah.
Because I'm scared. There's parts of me that's scared where I don't want it to go into a situation but I know at some stage I'm going towards that. So I know where I'm going. Yeah. I know where I'm going.
Self-awareness is very important with mental
So my self-awareness is telling me I'm gradually going there because I know I need to.
Yeah.
So again, when people see you and they go, oh yeah, no.
People don't know what goes on in your mind because I'm quite a smiley, jolly person.
Yeah,
people would probably never think I get depressed or I'm down, but when you don't see me on social media or you don't see me, I might be going through it. That's probably what I'm and it's you made a point that I didn't even realize I was doing, where you say you've always got to have something on. On a night, I've always got to have something on, and I don't think
because professionals will tell you not meant to do that. Yeah, professionals will tell you like they say, especially with children, you're meant to have at least like a couple of hours beforehand. So you wind down, so you get the kids off the computers or phones or whatever. Yeah. So you meant to make your mind like. So I can't do it. I genuinely like. I cannot tell you the last time I went to sleep like on a night, like not laid on the sofa and you doze.
Yeah, that's different.
That's different. But where I'm genuinely like in bed on a night, and you're like, come on, we're going to sleep now, and switch everything off and go, nah, it could never happen.
Yeah, that's mad. It's
it could never happen.
It's interesting, man. Like I said, I didn't ever know that's what that was. I just thought it's just my routine, innit? keep someone on all the time. But it is, if I don't really sit in silence much.
No.
I have to
Moving to the corner. What's happening?
but I can't keep still. I told you.
There.
I told you it's like a pissed the bed. Sorry, Dad. It's my dad's called Carl for the day, you know.
No, because I get maybe it's a protection.
Yeah.
Maybe I can't pinpoint what it is.
Yeah, it's difficult. I'm a person, I always try to get to the root of things. I try to understand why that's happened and the effect of my actions on people and stuff like that. I always try to understand that.
See, I get that, but mine would be for other people, not for myself.
Is it?
Yeah.
So you always try to understand other people?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I do it for both, but I definitely self-reflect a lot. Sometimes I excessively do it. And some people say I'm hard on myself, but I'd rather be hard on myself than people being hard on me, if that makes sense. Like, I'd rather identify a problem with myself before someone else identifies it, so that I can address it before anyone else.
Already too late for me. Everybody knows what my issues are. Already gone.
Even more so now, innit? Now that you've been telling them all your little secrets on camera.
Yeah, it's not a secret. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, I don't care.
Same.
Like, I don't care, and I've always been that. Again, I think maybe for years you suppress things because you don't want people to look at you in a different light.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? And you don't want people to look at you and go, is this, is that, is the other. Like, don't get it twisted. I'm still the same person. Like, I'll still get angry at the same things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's still a certain level of disrespect I won't accept.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So don't, like, I'm sane.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just that what I do is I just suppress so much.
Yeah.
Like, I just keep it down.
I think as well that people take being open and honest as like a sense of weakness.
Yeah.
But, and that's why it's a good thing that you said. I'm still the same. Not that changed. Like, I'm still exactly the same. It's like, I find that as well, like, people that may have known me when I was a teenager or in my early 20s would have had a certain level of respect for me then. And it's like, I've got a cousin, for example. He used to look up to me like I was, because he's got siblings, and his siblings never dealt with him right. So he was annoying as ass. He taught for England. And I took him under my wing, even points where I've had to back him. His brothers are battering him, and I've had to steam in. What are you doing, man? Get off him. And shout at him and tell him off. So he used to proper look up to me. But then you find that when I changed and I settled down with my baby mum and he started to look at me like I was a pussy all of a sudden. And then he'd say stuff about me to people, and that, to the point where we don't even talk now. And he was like my little brother, but it's because people kind of identify being, when you change and you grow up and you mature, that you're weak now and you're not.
But people will always do that, don't they? Because it's the point of not knowing.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like when people don't see you for a long time, they go, oh yeah, mama's just, and like they see you again, then it's like, I'm still the same person. Yeah. Like, nothing's changed. Like, for me, you go pressure cooker and you have the valve and then I let it out. Like, for me now, it's more of a thing where you write things down. Do you know what I mean? Like, just write. And then you can just keep it there and you constantly just go back over it. And you go, okay, there's an answer. There's another answer into there. There's another answer into there. And you constantly go back to it.
Yeah.
And then what I'll do is I'll keep onto the same thing. So I keep onto the same thing, the same memory, and just keep going back over it, because I'll keep coming up with different things.
Okay. So you are heavy on evaluating, and aren't you, by the sound?
Yeah. Because I think with people with complex minds, like, I believe minds are complex minds.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. But I think people with complex minds can't have one answer.
Yeah. I understand.
Because one answer doesn't cut it.
Yeah, because it's not enough.
It's not enough. And you always got to think that there's always more.
Of course.
And I think, depending on your environment, and your society, poverty, home, parents, there's a lot of things that's in the mix. So therefore, it can't be just one thing. It can never be just one thing, can it? It has to be a collection of things that have done that to you. Because again, I speak and say not having a father figure, not having somebody that you can go speak to. So most of the time, I came up with answers to myself.
Yeah, same. Like I put up a status the other day about my circumstances, like, oh, I've fallen off, I need to fix up. That's just me wanting to take accountability, and also wanting to say to people, look, we all have ups and downs. Let's go. Don't let.
And also, it gives people another. I mean, again, personally, not something I would do.
Yeah.
But I would say me. I don't have social media, as you know. Personally, I wouldn't do it.
Most people wouldn't.
Yeah, do you know
I think that's what made me want to do it more.
But then by you doing that, that gives people an understanding, saying, "Oh, that's what's going on with Mama."
Yeah.
But you get naivety within people, then, don't you? And then go, "Oh, Mama's putting up a status."
But me, I'm a status man, so I get it. I could set up a charity.
I'm only laughing, because
what have I done?
No, you didn't do anything. It made me laugh.
The car.
No, it was the it was one about your girl wanting to go to Jamaica.
Oh, Lennox. Yo, listen, that went mad when I did that on Snapchat. That went mad.
When I saw that one, he was like, listen, your girl's talking about, oh yeah, it's the sea and the sun and all that.
And the family.
She's off to go see Lennox. And
listen, listen, in the Caribbean, them man don't play. They don't play. They'll still up your girl. They'll take some stone and mash up your girl bridge and make her think about leaving you.
They just have listen, I couldn't stop laughing. Honestly, it had me for about a good 5-10 minutes. And then
if I had TikTok when I first made that and put it out proper, like a following, that would have gone viral, because it was just hilarious, man. That was a moment.
It was a funny one.
That was a moment.
But actually, funny enough, we got a couple of stats.
Oh yeah, man.
We had a couple of stats here. So
I'm liking the Leeds United on there, you know, Carl.
Oh, it's all right.
Go on, lad.
So again, some of the stats that I got up today was one where it was saying black adults are less likely to receive treatment. Okay, and 25% of black individuals seek mental health treatment when needed, compared to 40% of white individuals.
I believe that though. I feel like white guys take more accountability and own the fuck ups more. Like my white man, I'm on my ass. I'm on my ass, mate.
Yeah.
I'll never hear a black man say that. I'm on my ass. Unless they owe you. Unless they owe you, they don't want to pay you. I'm on my face. Oh, you know what I mean? But
yeah, actually, I do believe that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I do believe that. Yeah. There was another one where it was black individuals feel more judged or misunderstood when seeking help.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. On a wider scale.
Yeah, but
I don't agree that it's the case.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is so when I'm reading that now, so black individuals feel more judged or misunderstood when seeking help. But is that because of the community and because of who they're surrounding?
Yeah, I think it's the stigma around mental health.
Yeah, it's the stigma around it.
Stigma around mental health. I think because
I don't think that would be professionals.
No. I think it's the stigma around it. Like we were saying earlier on on the pod, who do you go to have that conversation with when you're going through it? Like, you don't want that. Like I said, I've been down, and I felt like I wanted to open up to my brethren, Courtney, but I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it, bro. And it was like, I couldn't understand what. And it's just me and him. Me and him talk about anything, everything. I've got no shame when it comes to him. He's got no shame. Like, there's no. But that, I remember one time I was down and I couldn't even open up. I didn't know how to start the conversation.
But you know what though? That leads me onto the thing where you go about the advice you would give is not always the advice you would receive.
It's true. It's true especially when it comes to mental health and pride and ego. It's difficult.
100%.
It's difficult, man.
It's hard.
It's true. It is difficult to give people advice sometimes because you're not in their shoes. You don't we've all had women, we've all had girl partners, things, whatever you want to call them, but you don't know how I feel about that.
I've never had things, by the way. That's how I was going to put it out there.
Yeah, he had. But I have had things. I ain't gonna lie.
Put mine out there now.
He's a good lad.
No things.
I was a piece of shit at one point, man. I won't lie.
Okay, so what about this one then? Black young adults aged 18 to 25 have the highest of mental health conditions compared to other racial groups.
I probably believe that as well. Like, I've noticed.
I mean, yeah. Listen, they're off a credible website as well.
Yeah. I've noticed a few Asians are starting to get mental health, but even when I do see it, it's a lot of black men at that age.
It's funny because there's a guy called Sonny. I think off Don't Bottle It Up on TikTok. I think he commented on.
Is it the guy that you had on?
Yes, yeah.
The one who I said my dad. I think my dad built his.
Yeah. So again, when he talks about the community, because he's Sikh, and he talks about the community where a lot of it is surrounded by alcohol. And it's just your general norm. Celebration. Yeah, it's like celebration. You get a car, you celebrate a kid, house, wife, married. It's always drink. So a lot of work that he's doing, because again, we have to understand when you put substance, whether it's drugs or alcohol, whatever, recreational, whatever it might be, when you put drugs in the mix as well with mental health, I mean, you're just topping it up, aren't you?
Of course you are, man. Of course you are. I think I've noticed a few people that I know that have got mental health. They drink and they smoke weed excessively.
Yeah,
and you see the change. Like again, my cousin, I seen him. He was drinking, and then he's fine when he first come linking. By the end, he's just going crazy. He's like talking to himself. And you see his mental health spike when he's drinking. It's just like, it's horrible. It's rough, man.
So the last one I had here was black adults are more likely to experience serious thoughts of suicide and higher rates of suicide attempts.
I don't know I don't know if I agree with that. You know, I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, but you got to remember. You remember the key word is thoughts.
Thoughts, yeah, but I don't know how you can say how you can identify that, because most black people don't even speak about it. So how are you even going to know what their thoughts are?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't understand where they got that information from. But it could be. It could be true. I don't know, because you do get, like, if you ever been down, you may have had a thought like, I wonder if life would probably be better if I wasn't here. You know what I mean? Like, I've had that thought before. I've never ever acted on it. And it's never been more than that thought, but then you got to slap yourself out and be like, do you know what? I've got a lot to live for, and I've got a lot going on. Why am I? Just because A and B is not matching up, you still got C, D, E, and F. What you think logically, bro?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people out there. I mean, I think there's more people out there that would be willing to admit it.
Yeah. No, of course, there'll be loads of people that watch this that'll be like, rah, so it's not just me.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it happens, bro. Like, it's life, man. Like, it happens, bro.
There's no doubt that it happens. And again, similar to yourself, I've had them thoughts.
Yeah,
I thought it.
It's not. I think it's not normal, but it happens.
Do you know what it is? I think. Again, I don't want to be quoted or misquoted. I'm just going to say what my view is. One of the things for me with suicide, people have said for many years it's a coward's way out and this, that, and the other. I don't believe that.
I do, you know.
See, so we'll have a discussion on it, because I think it actually takes, unless it's mental health, unless it's serious mental health. Yeah, then obviously you're not thinking correctly, are you? But for you to do something where once you've done that, it's done. I think take some bottle.
Yeah, that is a fair point.
Do you know what I mean? I think I'm just saying me. I'm not speaking on anybody else's behalf, unless you're different. You're dealing with psychosis or serious mental health, or you genuinely believe that there's nobody going to miss you, or you don't have anybody. I understand those bits, but I genuinely believe like it takes some serious bottle for you. And I'm not going to go into descriptions of what people do and how you go about it. I'm just saying, for you to go and you go, right, this is what I'm going to do. And then you go and you do, and you go, after, once I do this, this is the end result. Bro, I'm talking on myself. Like,
yeah.
I'm thinking like that's
That I can't disagree with that. Why I have the stance that I have is why I think it's cowardly is because we've all had a death in the family. We've all lost someone that we love, and we've felt that pain. So for you to do that and then inflict that same pain on your loved one, and I think when it's suicide, I haven't had a family member or a loved one that's died from suicide. People thought my mum died from suicide because one of my friend's mums seen my mum when she was down, and she said something like, "Oh, I wish my life would probably be better off if I wasn't here."
Yeah.
And then so that rumor kind of circulated, but it was never that. But in regards to so I think suicide deaths are worse for people, for the family, because it's like, I could have done something to stop this. I could have. You've always got that shoulda, woulda, coulda with that. Whereas if someone dies from cancer or getting hit by a bus, well, hit by a bus, you can say, "Oh, if I'd have given him a lift." But if they die from cancer or something, that's been the cause.
I think yours is more on the sense of, look at the pain you're leaving behind.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Whereas, yeah, look at it's self. I think maybe not cowardly, selfish. I think it's a bit more of a selfish act because you're not thinking about the people that you're leaving behind, and then the pain.
Because there's some. I mean, I'm not going to get into religions because you stay away from. But there's religions that don't agree with it as well. There's
I can imagine so because I'm sure I've heard that God don't agree with it. I'm sure I've heard Christians say that.
I think. Look, I don't. I think. Look, I think if you are suffering with serious mental health, then I don't think you're thinking about your loved ones. Right?
Yeah, no, you're not. Do you know what I mean? Your head's not in the right place.
It's not in the right place. But again, like for me, I think it just takes some serious, and I don't think you are. And you know what? In one sense as well, I can see what you're saying with the selfish part, because really you're only thinking about yourself at that moment.
Of course you are.
You're not thinking about anybody else.
Of course you are.
Because you're not. Yeah, I can see your point.
But then on the flip side about thinking about, you're always told in life to put yourself first.
Yeah.
So then are they not just to putting themselves first? There's a point for each side, and there's an argument for each. I
think
I do definitely think it's very.
And I think women as well. You know, suicide, it's worse for women.
What do you mean?
So I read something the other day where it was something to do with the brain, where women hold on to things a lot longer than men.
I believe that.
So when you're talking about like things that are bad, the woman will manifest longer with a woman than what it's. I think it's something to do with serotonin or something like that. It was something to do with the brain anyway.
I can believe that.
Yeah, it was something to do with that because women have less than men, and therefore we can ours fluctuate. So we were able to like
detach from shit.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think suicide will always be a debatable.
Yeah, of course. There's no right or wrong answer.
No, there's no right or wrong. I just think it's what your view is. But for me, like I say, and again, you have the cries for help. You know, those attempted for attempted suicide, although it will go down as attempted suicide. But again, I know people that will speak to you about people in jail. The amount of people like on acts now that are on suicide watch in jail is at the highest it's ever been.
Really?
Yeah. It's the highest it's ever been.
Why do you think that is though?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't tell.
Because I think mental health is at the highest it's ever been.
Yeah,
it's rife. Like about a few weeks ago, I was at cabin. There was a guy with mental health there. Then I've left cabin, gone to Sensations Barbershop, Chapeltown Road. There's a guy on Chapeltown Road just whiling, like just shouting at cars and stuff.
I've seen him.
I think
I wear the hat like a hat sometimes.
Dark skin brother.
Yeah.
He was on my vlog with Thingy.
Oh yeah,
it's the same brother that was on the vlog.
Okay, yeah.
And then I've gone down Chat Road. There's a guy in the wreck, this Asian guy. He's talking to himself. Gone back up to cabin. There's not the same guy that's got mental health. There's another guy there. This is all in the same day. I've bumped into about 5 people with mental health, and that like it's visible mental health. It's not like people that are holding stuff in and suffering. It's visible. They're talking to themselves, acting out of character. And that's in Chapeltown. So you think how many people are suffering in Leeds, and the horrible thing about it is they can't get this because some of them don't identify it as a problem. They're just left to walk around until they hurt somebody. Yeah. And that's the thing about mental health that hurts my soul, because it's like they need sectioning, they need that support. They're not
it's not even necessarily being sectioned, it's just having
support.
They just need the support.
Yeah. Some of them do need sectioning. Like I feel like one of them hombres I've seen that they needed sectioning, 2 or 3 of them needed sectioning.
I think with mental health as well, and again, it's we're just 2 people talking on it from what we've seen, what we've identified, and personal journeys. There's not no professional.
No.
I think with mental health, it's quite widespread. And again, I'm not no scientist, far from it, but I do believe these strains of cannabis strains now, the THC levels,
deadly.
And again, I'm not a professional in it.
No, but it's fact,
and I don't smoke it.
It's fact. I smoke it,
so I can't have that view on it. But what I will say, like the psychosis off the back of these strains, I truly believe it's messing with people's brains.
1,000,000%. Every single person that I seen, I just mentioned them 5 people all bun weed. One of them don't bun smelly, but drinks Guinness like it's going out of fashion.
Yeah, mental
health definitely has a major impact on people's mental health. Weed definitely has a massive impact on people's mental health. But you see what the problem is when people smoke weed, they won't take accountability for it. They won't admit that that's the issue. That's the issue. That's a big part of your issue. Because I've seen, luckily for me, I'm from the tribe of Reuben.
Okay.
I'm born in April, I'm from tribe, so I'm very observant and I evaluate things a lot. So I'll evaluate myself how I am when I don't smoke, because I'll take like I call them ganja detoxes. So I might stop for 30 days, or I might stop for a period of time.
Why don't you just stop completely?
Do you know what it is? Maybe my willpower. I always end up going back and having a spliff, and then once I've had one, then the next day I'll have I might say, tomorrow I won't smoke. So I might even not smoke tomorrow, but then a girl might come around on Friday. And I find, like, I'll be honest with you, I find weed, I shouldn't be telling you my secrets, but weed and Guinness is like that's my stone.
Okay.
You get me? That gives me my superpower. So it's hard for me to let that go, because I'm feeling like Superman without his cape without that. You get what I'm saying? So it's just one of them, Carl. It's like, boy, I have to keep weed there, little piece. I think about edibles, but then edibles get me too high where I'm feeling, my body feels high for days.
You know what? Listen, I went to someone's house. I've got to be careful how I say it, because I don't want to give it away who the person was. But I went there through the work that I do.
Yeah.
And I went and I said to the mother, I was like, I came yesterday, no answer. Must have been a Monday. I was like, couldn't move. I done an edible Sunday night. And I was like, and again, I'm thinking, I thought they were just meant to chill you out. But from what I'm hearing with these people that are having these edibles, like, they can't move.
They're horrible. Your blood feels high. Your blood feels high, Carl. That's the only way I can explain. For 2 days, my body felt high. I'm thinking, what the fuck is this?
So listen to me. You need to explain to me, or explain to that camera there, because I don't get it. I don't understand how you can have something that will paralyze you, so you can't even, like, you know, my biggest fear. I'll tell you what my biggest fear is
not being in control of your body or something.
Is it Alzheimer's, which is to do with your brain?
Yeah.
Parkinson's, Alzheimer's.
Parkinson's, both. Yeah.
They're my biggest. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
You know, forgetting.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, you go through stages of your life where short-term memory, long-term, and you do forget things as you get a little bit older, but that's because you're consuming so much anyway, you're allowed to.
But weed does that to you anyway.
But what I'm saying is that's my biggest, not being able to control or being in control, because I've always been in control of my mind.
Yeah.
Right or wrongly.
Yeah.
I've been in control of my mind. So that's my biggest fear. That fear of not knowing, knowing that you're not in control of your mind. That blows my mind.
No, that is scary. But I think when you're smoking weed, or even if you have an edible, I don't feel like you're in control. I just feel like you're just lazy and you're just more lethargic. I wouldn't say you feel like you're not in control of your mind. What I would say with excessive weed smoking is you do lose your short-term memory. You get excessive weed smoking and phones, social media, having an addiction to them two things. You get brain fog.
Well,
you get brain fog.
Don't get me started on that. Going down different realms, because again, I think mobile phones and the social media are one of the biggest strains on mental health, especially for the younger generation.
Of course.
Because I think if you look at, there's a strong link, and again, this will still lead. It will still lead you to mental health, because drugs, dopamine hit.
Yep.
Alcohol, dopamine hit. Social media gives you a dopamine hit.
Them likes and
likes. But the dopamine hit that you get off social media, is far worse. Now, a scientist may correct me wrong. Might say that he's chalky rubbish. Just hear me out.
Yeah.
You can take drugs. Not that I'm saying you should, or you can drink alcohol. Not that I'm saying you should. However, you took this and you will get that dopamine hit, and it might last you half an hour, 15 minutes, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
You take that. Your dopamine hit of social media, is anything between 30 seconds and 3 minutes.
When everyone talks about the impact social media has on people's mental health, to talk about the vanity side of things, so everyone making everything look glossy, and
let me tell you something.
Women with the filters and
people that are watching this, you go onto the YouTube channel and you'll see things. There's ones with girl pretty, boy pretty. I don't even think I've put it out yet. And if you go onto the social media part of when you talk about, there's actually people that can have, they want a Snapchat. They're going to surgeons and asking for Snapchat filter. So they want to look like the filter that they can use. Facts. These are facts, bro. Because it's another mental health. It's another mental health. People are asking for the Snapchat. So they want that filter that you can get on Snap. They're asking for that. I forgot what they call it, but if you go on, like when you finish here and you go onto our YouTube channel, go onto the social media part, and I think it's either in Snapchat or it might be on. Well, it's on one. I don't think it's on Instagram. I think it's on the Snapchat one, and they're talking about it. They're actually talking about wanting to look like the filters.
I'm gonna watch that. I've got a few of yours to catch up on.
Honestly, it's crazy. It's absolutely bizarre, bro. It's bizarre what people.
It's crazy. It's sad, to be fair, more than anything, because it's like, love the skin you're in, man. I was saying this to someone the other day.
Yeah, but again,
super pretty, but she don't rate herself.
But you see, again, it's a mental health. It's mental health, isn't it?
It's got to be.
It's all, because again, it's how you view yourself. It's like me. I mean, I'm a bit fat now, but people would go like, I would look at myself and go, I've got skinny arms. Because there's people with body dysmorphia. There's so many different elements of mental, whereas we're just covering as individuals from certain areas. That's what we're genuinely covering from a generation that we're from. But when you look at all these other elements of mental health, bro, that's why it's so widespread. And again, I'm not a professional to speak on other things. No, but one of the things that I look into, and I'm still not an expert.
You're level-headed and you've got common sense, and I think that's all you really need to do to be able to draw a good conclusion and understand.
But you can have common sense and still suffer with mental health.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean?
That don't stop you.
Yeah.
My uncle, the got the most common sense in the world. He's the most righteous man that I've probably ever met. You know, if it wasn't for him, a lot of things wouldn't be the way they are within the family and stuff. Like, he made sure had a good relationship with my family, irrespective of when my dad was going on with his bullshit. You know what I mean? He's the reason, I believe, is the reason why Mike is a footballer. And I'll say it with my chest. My Uncle Lincoln's the reason why Mike is a footballer. Because I remember being in the car with my man and he's saying to me, he sat down with Michael and saying, when you make it, don't forget Jeffrey. Don't forget Uncle Tony. Don't forget my man used to give you his football boots. Don't forget this. Don't forget that. You get what I mean? His dad's installed it. He was telling him when. He's not saying if.
And just for Michael, if you are watching this, I will go with you did blow up on the scene because it's a running joke.
Yeah. Burst on the scene.
Burst on the scene.
Burst on the scene, man.
Burst on the
Shut
scene,
up,
man.
Roy. Let me and Carl come see your star. No, Carl's not joining.
No, I'll see Roy.
Yeah,
because he's a man. He might play for Man United.
Oh, so you got his back?
No.
Are you Leeds fan?
I'm a Leeds.
This is what I'm saying. I like
Don't
it.
ever do that. You've seen that I've got Leeds.
I know, but you could have got that.
No.
You know how people love you after, man.
But then again, Mike, their relationship's good. But
Yeah, no, it is sick.
Let's not go off, man. But do you know what? In all fairness, if I'm gonna be true to I'm not gonna be not true to myself. I think I don't think there's can't prove it, but I don't think there's an end to mental health. I don't think there'll ever be a solution. There's no one shoe fits all.
No way.
And I think that there's so many different things that are continuously coming. I mean, we're not even getting into the realms of what people from LGBTQ A+ or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not being rude.
It has changed.
But I'm just saying, even that form of mental health. If you're talking transgender, if you're talking, there's so much things. You know what I mean? When you're talking mental health, I don't think, although people want to go mental health and put it in, but there's so much to add to it. I just think mental health is never ending, and there's always something else. And what people fail to realize, and these professionals as well, what I will say to them is you have to be very careful the way that you deal with people with mental health. And I don't mean just general mental health, but I'm on about people that have lived through trauma or have suffered trauma or have been the aggressor with trauma. You have to be very careful that you don't re-traumatize that person.
Yeah, that's true.
Because one of the key things that I've seen, because I've got a lived experience, and the people that watch this know about my lived experience, and you know also, sometimes you go for jobs, and I found this myself, you'll go for a job, and you say you've got lived experience, you explain what your lived experience is.
Yeah.
And you will get an interview. And the chances are you're not going to get the job. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it.
And why is that?
Because what it is they're going to get an opportunity. In no other form of life will they get the opportunity to sit down with you, with your lived experience, and pick your brain. They'll never get a chance. Yeah. They just use because they'll never get the opportunity to do it.
Yeah. In there, because they're never going to cross someone like it.
Let me tell you something. Here's the biggest thing, and I'll leave it here. One of the things for me is when you're talking about lived experience, you talk about mental health or drugs or alcohol, anything like that. When you put an application in, the only thing that you must declare is what?
Convictions or something.
Is a criminal record.
Yeah.
You don't have to declare anything else.
That's true, you know.
It's an option. Have you suffered with this? Have you? There are options. The only thing that you must declare is criminal record. So if you have 5 people in a room all going for the one job, and one's never taken anything, one's taken drugs, one's suffered with mental health, one's is an alcoholic, the other one has a criminal lived experience. The only person out of those 5 who is at a disadvantage is a person with a lived experience, because he's or they are the person that has to declare. Yeah.
But if the person interviewing's got any sense, that's probably the person that you really want.
Yeah, depending on the job.
Yeah. I mean, if you're talking like youth work or
yeah. But I'm saying a lot of people, because people now, you'll see a lot more people going, we employ people with a lived experience. A lot of people are saying it now. However, there's levels. There's a level of lived experience that you're allowed to have. You can't go past that level because they go, oh no.
Yeah, because why are they going to want to work with you if you're a lunatic?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So there's a level of what lived experience you can have, or what they'll accept.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, and again, I don't want to go off topic, but yeah, the mental health side of things is, yeah, I think in the next coming years, you're going to see a lot more.
Definitely. I've noticed it's spiked already, so, you know, it's good. Nothing's changing. Things are just getting worse, really. What I wanted to ask you, though, is, let's say, for example,
This ain't a normal podcast, you know, where you get to ask me a question at the end. But go
Oh, good, give it over. I was thinking earlier, you know, do I still get to ask my question? Because I've got questions, you know, Carl. I was thinking, do you know, if, let's say, someone's had a mental breakdown
Mhm.
to the point where they've had to be hospitalised,
Yeah.
do you think you can ever get past that stage, or do you think you always? So, if you've had a breakdown, do you think you can ever be a point where you'd never have a breakdown again, or do you think you're always going to be vulnerable to having a breakdown?
Wow. It's a good question. I think with medication, you'd probably be okay, but it's the levels of medication that you take.
What do you think about the medication? Because I've got some opinions on medication.
See, I can tell you my opinion. I mean, I suffer with a thing that's called, so I'll have them for the rest of my life. So I suffer with a thing called cluster headaches.
Mm-hmm.
So the nickname for them is called suicidal headaches.
Okay.
So think about a migraine, and then, like, with my headaches that I get, and these are facts, you can look it up.
Yeah.
They've even got blogs for it. People will run into walls to try and get rid of this pain. Like, people have committed suicide
because of the pain.
Because of the pain.
Is that why it's called suicide?
That's why it's called. The nickname for it is suicidal headache.
Yeah.
But the name for it is called cluster headache.
Yeah.
And the only way I can explain the pain to you is this: is you will have to be in a dark room, and the pain is that intense that it puts you to sleep. The pain is that intense. And again, and there's the doctors that I'm at, they have one person there that has them all year round. Mine, we don't know what my trigger is.
Okay.
So what it is I have an emergency tablet.
Yeah.
So I know now when I'm going to get one. And then what I do is I take the emergency tablet. That will last me 24 hours. And in the meantime, I phone the doctors and they will get me my prescription. Then you take a tablet every single day. Now, actually, I'm meant to take the tablets all year round.
Yeah, but don't you think your body will get used to them?
Yeah,
though?
Whereas I can't do it. I'm not a tablet man.
Yeah.
So I have my emergency tablet.
I think that's better for your body though, man.
Your
body just gets
well, it's like antibiotics. I've had in my age now, I've only ever had antibiotics once in my life.
Swear down.
Yeah. So I always go back to my grandmother's old remedies.
Yeah. The best way, man.
Do you know what I mean? So she would. And again, it would be a spoonful of castor oil, a spoonful of cod liver oil, garlic tea, and a spoonful of Vaseline. Yeah, so that was my morning routine. So a spoonful of cod liver oil, spoonful of castor oil, a spoonful of Vaseline, garlic tea, and then to finish off, you'd have a nutmeg drink, a sweet nutmeg drink. And that's what you had every morning, Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
That's what you had. Weekends off.
The Vaseline bit's throwing me off.
I never understood it either.
Yeah,
but I'm guessing... I don't know why, but I'm guessing the Vaseline thing was to line your intestines off.
Oh,
that's all I can think of. I can't think of anything else. But that's what I had religiously growing up.
Okay. Do you know what? I don't knock any of the old remedies because I look at that older generation and I know man that like 89, 90, drink like fuck and they're still going good, going strong. My granddad, my mum's dad, he was about your height,
Small then.
Right tall, slim, but he was as strong as an ox. Like you gotta think my granddad's tiny, and then you know some of my uncles. You probably know my uncle Old Neil that used to do security work and stuff in Austin.
Yeah.
Look at the size of them.
Yeah.
And he could keep them in order. And I think that's because he was naturally physically strong, mentally strong, and the stuff they ate back home, they had these remedies. Like I remember once I had a cold, this chesty cough, and I couldn't shake it. I went down to my granddad's. I was in high school. I think I went after rugby training on a Thursday. So I've gone down, coughing. He's like, oh, what's up? I said, I've got this cough. I said, all right, 1 minute. He's gone upstairs, got some whiskey, honey, I don't know if it was black pepper or something, put it in this jar, and he's saying, drink that, but don't take too much so you're going to get drunk. I'm thinking to myself, Grandad, I've been pissed with my mates already. You don't even know I can handle that. So I've supped it. Next day I was fine.
So you got to remember, people used to. It's like when kids used to be teething, they used to whiskey and everything.
Yeah, on the gum. Yeah.
God, listen, if you did that now, oh God.
Oh, listen, CS, what are they called? Not CSA.
Social
Social
services.
services at your door. At your door straight away. Your kids are gone. But
Yeah, that's another story. But no, listen. Yeah, this has to come out on a good.
yeah, this needs its time, man.
Yeah, it should be a good one. But in the meantime, we're gonna think of something else. We're gonna think.
What for the next one?
Yeah,
we're gonna do another.
We'll do
I
another
enjoy these, man.
but yeah, Sanka, do you know it's a little bit different this one because it's not really an interview. But yeah, listen. What I'll say is this is not so much to just you, but to everybody else. Listen, if not even if, you know what it is, just check up on your people.
Definitely, that's something I'm definitely going to take from today.
I think just checking on your people, and again, if you think of them, phone them.
Yeah, no, definitely.
You know, I'm not saying go around to the house, and if they don't answer, just send them a message. And you know what it is, a guy, I've got an Asian friend that does it with me. Like if I miss his call, if I'm in a meeting or something, he just puts very simple. You was in my thoughts, so I'd give you a call.
Oh yeah, man, I like that.
You was in my thoughts, so I gave you a call.
I like that.
And you know what it is? Then you automatically go, I've got to ring you back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe if you do it to that person, you do the same thing to them. Maybe they'll automatically go, listen, I need to phone him back.
It's true, and I think it's creating it's a good thing to spread around for get people to do, like just checking on your people, man.
Yeah, again, people say, oh, you see, there's a few people saying that, you know, you just check in. But for me, I just go, because it's hard. I understand now, that, you know.
Is it really that hard though?
The cost of living and work and working, because you got to think, sometimes you're working to whatever time, especially if you're in a relationship with family home. You're working, you're leaving work, you're going home, kids, but your missus might have to go off to work and
you might go to the gym.
So things do take up. I'd be lying if I said they didn't. And they do take, and days do turn into weeks, and weeks do turn into months.
It's easy
done. My thing is look, if ever, because if they've come into your mind, you've clearly had the time to think of them.
Yes.
So at that time,
making that call,
or send that message.
Send a message, yeah, because the message takes 2 seconds. There's no excuse not to send a message.
Don't even get me started on that. You see kids messaging each other all day long. Ring them.
Yeah. I don't even like messaging.
Maybe I tell with the length for your messages. That
you shut up.
But Sanka,
pleasure as always,
Carlos,
man. Pleasure as always.